She's spectacular. She's spectacular. And when are we going to start talking about her the same way we talked about Caitlin Clark? I mean, you look at her skills, you look at what she been. She is special. When are we going to start doing that? Because let me tell you something. This sister's got game.
Did you catch Stephen A. Smith's latest take? Because if you did, there's a good chance your eyebrows hit the ceiling. This man, who's supposedly one of the most respected voices in sports, had the audacity to say that JuJu Watkins deserves to be talked about the same way we talk about Caitlin Clark. That's not just a reach, that's a full-blown flight of fancy. We're talking about a player with 67 double-doubles and 17 triple-doubles being compared to someone with 15 and 0. Seriously?
You look at her skill sets, her ball handling ability, her driving ability, her shot making ability, her three-point shooting shot making ability. This sister is something special. She is spectacular. Pull up Jay right there. She is the package, and she's been the package. We saw her coming last year, but now that Caitlin Clark is gone, we should be focusing on her even more so now. And just like I told you when Caitlin Clark was the golden goose, I said that's the golden goose. That didn't mean she was the best player in the world. It meant that she was pretty damn good and coming, okay? And the fans loved her.
And the irony? Stephen A. Smith is acting like he's some kind of helpless bystander in the media machine, lamenting why JuJu doesn't get more attention. Newsflash, Stephen A., you are the media. You literally sit on one of the most influential platforms in all of sports and get to decide who gets airtime. If JuJu isn't getting the spotlight, maybe start by checking the mirror.
I'm saying the only question now about JuJu is, why is she not being shown more love? Because clearly she deserves it.
Yeah.
Let's not act like this is some isolated slip-up either. On First Take, he didn't just casually mention JuJu's name. No, he went all in, saying, "When are we going to start talking about her the same way we talked about Caitlin Clark?" As if he doesn't have full control over the narrative on his own show. The man practically writes the rundown himself.
When we see Caitlin Clark pulling up from logo range, oh, well, I'll be damned. When we see Caitlin Clark running the floor, finding Hannah Stuelke like Peyton Manning finds Marvin Harrison, well, I'll be damned.
It's not that JuJu Watkins isn't good. She's very good. But great? Generational? Caitlin Clark is already redefining the sport at the professional level. Comparing JuJu to Clark at this point is like comparing someone training for a marathon to someone who's already crossed the finish line, set the record, and waved at the crowd.
But the biggest problem is this is his show, and he's deciding not to talk about JuJu. That's the funny part. Deep down, I think Stephen A. knows why they're not talking about JuJu Watkins.
What makes this so laughable is that Stephen A. keeps pretending he doesn't know how media works. He talks about coverage like it's this mysterious thing no one can control, except that he's been controlling it for decades. He could have JuJu on ESPN tomorrow. He could do an entire segment on her career, stats, and future if he really believed what he was saying. But instead, he goes for the easy viral moment, knowing full well the comparison is nonsense.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT!
She signed my jersey! So happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
Caitlin Clark effect seems to be crazier than year one.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball, period.
She just brings so much passion to the game, and look at all these people that just want to come and see her.
It is no secret that the Indiana Fever are the most popular team in the WNBA. It is good for the entire WNBA.
And this isn't an anti-JuJu rant. She's got talent, charisma, and a bright future. But Stephen A. didn't say she's promising. He said she's already deserving of the same treatment as Caitlin Clark. That's just delusional. It's not that JuJu's not good, it's that she's not there yet. And there's no shame in that.
The thing that everybody can agree on is JuJu is special. JuJu is a great player. I love her personality. I love how she's aggressive on the court. She gets downhill, you're either about to give up 2 points or you're about to give up a foul.
This entire segment felt like Stephen A. was tossing out a narrative just to stir up drama. He's trying to create drama where there is none. You want to champion JuJu Watkins? Great. Give her time. Let her carve her own lane. But don't act like she's already rewritten the record books when the ink hasn't even dried on her first chapter.
Right, JuJu, yeah, she can score her butt off. Don't get me wrong, JuJu can score her butt off. But is she facilitated at a high level, right? Now, we're going to break it all the way down, man, because as much as I love JuJu, I just don't think she's there where Caitlin Clark is at just yet.
Stephen A., if you're going to push a narrative, at least make sure it passes the laugh test. Right now, you're not just holding the salt shaker, you dumped the whole thing in the soup and wondered why it tastes off. You don't get to manufacture a media moment and act surprised when people aren't buying the spin. You built the machine, now take responsibility for what it's producing. That's how narratives become ridiculous, when people in power pretend they're powerless. And in this case, the only thing Stephen A. is actually powerless against is the cold, hard truth. Caitlin Clark is in a league of her own, and trying to force a comparison doesn't elevate JuJu. It just makes the whole conversation look desperate.
I just want to throw this stat at you, right? Caitlin Clark had 67 double-doubles and 17 triple-doubles in 139 games. Caitlin was more than a scoring machine. Absolutely. She's doing more than scoring. JuJu Watkins has 15 double-doubles and 0 triple-doubles through 62 games. That's for comparison of how great Caitlin was.
You want to talk numbers? Let's do it. Caitlin Clark hit 2,000 career points in 75 games. That's video game stuff. For JuJu to match that, she'd have to drop 33 points per game for the next 12 straight just to tie her. That's not on the rise. That's chasing a comet with roller skates.
Now, let's read this one. Fastest to 2,000 points NCAA. Caitlin, 75. Della Dunn, 75. JuJu Watkins has 1604 in 62 games. Need to average 33 points over the next 12 to hit 2,000 in 74 games.
Now, if you break it down even further and compare their first 62 college games, sure, the points are close. 1,662 for Clark, 1,604 for JuJu. Rebounds? Almost dead even. 433 for Clark, 436 for JuJu. But assists? This is where the wheels come off. Clark put up 471 assists. JuJu, just 214. That's not just a small discrepancy. That's a massive indicator of how different their impacts are on the court. One runs the offense and lifts an entire team. The other is still figuring out how to distribute.
Out of 62 games for Caitlin and JuJu, we see the points for Caitlin. 1662, 1604 for JuJu. She averaged 26 or 27, and JuJu averaged 26, right? 433 rebounds for Caitlin, 436 rebounds for JuJu, so she won there. 471 assists for Caitlin, 214 assists for JuJu.
Are you seeing this? Caitlin Clark was generating nearly twice as many scoring chances for her teammates as JuJu Watkins, while still dropping huge scoring numbers herself. That's not just good basketball, that's elite-level, floor general, MVP-type dominance. That's what separates a scorer from someone who controls the entire flow of a game. Caitlin wasn't just padding her stats. She was running the entire offense and making everyone around her better.
Now, this is the main separation here, is what a lot of people aren't understanding. For you to be getting all these assists and still make it this tough for people to get to your scoring records, that is insane.
But it doesn't stop there. The shooting percentages tell an even uglier story for this comparison. Clark hit 46% of her shots from the field and knocked down 37% from three-point range. Meanwhile, JuJu? She's sitting at 41% from the field and a shaky 33% from downtown. And when you're putting up that many attempts, those percentage gaps become massive. That's not just a bad shooting night. That's a consistent drop in efficiency.
All right, now let's look at the shooting percentages, right? 46 from the floor for Caitlin, right? I mean, y'all can see the numbers. I'm just trying to read it out for y'all. 41% from JuJu. From the three, 37%. From the three, 32 or 33% for JuJu. Okay, 87 for Caitlin, 84 from the free throw for JuJu.
And then you look at the big scoring nights. In their respective first 62 game sample, Clark had 23 games where she dropped at least 30 points. JuJu had 20. Now, that's still impressive, but Clark's consistency and frequency in putting up big numbers is on another level. Every few games, she was basically putting together performances that could headline SportsCenter.
All right. 4 40-point games. JuJu had 3 40-point games. 11 35-point games. JuJu had 6 35-point games. Caitlin had 23 30-point games. JuJu has 20 30-point games.
But the real mic drop moment. The double-doubles and triple-doubles. Clark racked up a jaw-dropping 67 double-doubles and 17 triple-doubles in college. JuJu, she's got 15 double-doubles and hasn't recorded a single triple-double yet. 0. That's not a knock on Watkins as a player, but if we're talking legendary status versus up-and-coming star, that's where the line gets drawn.
Caitlin has 26 double-doubles, and JuJu has 15 double-doubles. And of course, Caitlin at this time has 6 triple-doubles, while JuJu has 0.
These stats don't just highlight a gap, they expose a canyon. Clark's putting up all-time numbers that rival the greats, while JuJu, although clearly talented, is still finding her groove. It's like comparing someone who's already made history to someone who might someday get there. And that's why it's completely absurd for Stephen A. Smith to act like they belong in the same sentence.
If this was 3 years ago, trust me, JuJu would be great. Because she would just be another, oh my God, a great women's basketball player. Oh, goodness gracious. This is amazing. There wouldn't be a conversation about it because remember, she would have just been another gust of wind. Another leaf floating through the air.
And speaking of Steph Curry-like impact, let's talk signature moves. Just like prime LeBron forced teams to adjust their entire defense with his step-back threes, Clark brings that same chaos with her limitless range. She's not just occasionally hitting a long shot, she's casually stepping into 30-footers like it's nothing. That kind of shooting stretches defenses in ways JuJu just doesn't.
How many people shoot logo threes? How many people in the league can do that? You feel me? It's an anomaly skill that Caitlin possesses that a lot of the other players don't. I would say Sabrina can do it. And then on top of that, she can score and also facilitate. That's another piece that JuJu is missing.
Watch both players side by side and it's obvious. JuJu's game is built around physicality. She lives in the paint, muscles her way to the rim, and thrives in traffic. She's a classic downhill driver, and she's great at it. But there's a reason help defense can still shut that down. Teams can clog the paint and contest her finishes.
Shot chart. Okay, this is the entire career shooting for JuJu. Okay? Now, like I said, her game is to drive. She's going to get downhill, and she's either going to get the 2 or you're going to give up a foul. That's her game. All right? She's unstoppable like that. And she plays to her strength, which is perfect. There's nothing wrong with how she plays. Okay? Now, I want y'all to realize how empty it is back here. All right? She don't really necessarily take these far back threes.
But Clark? Her shot chart looks like it was designed by a mad scientist. She's taking and making shots from absurd distances. We're talking rainbow threes from 7 feet beyond the arc. These are shots most coaches would bench you for attempting. And she's hitting them at a clip that forces defenders to guard her practically at half court.
Now, if you look at Caitlin's, look at how crazy this chart is, fam. I can't even see these numbers. Look at how crazy this chart is. This is asinine, all right? This is a piece of what made Caitlin special, okay? Look at how hot these areas are. And a lot of people forget that Caitlin also was a 3-level scorer in college.
That completely warps defenses. When you have to guard someone 35 feet out, the whole defense breaks down. Rotations get slower, lanes open up, and teammates suddenly look like all-stars because they're getting wide-open looks thanks to the gravity Clark creates. JuJu doesn't stretch defenses like that. She's a threat in the lane, not a floor spacer.
And it's just on fire all up in here. Look at this. Now, y'all pay attention to Caitlin. Now let's go back to JuJu's, okay? This is the difference. This is why people were talking about Caitlin Clark the way that they were talking about her. I love JuJu game. I'm not even making this video to crap on her. I'm just trying to get y'all to understand why JuJu isn't as captivating as Caitlin Clark.
The truth is, Clark's game isn't just revolutionary for women's basketball. It mirrors Steph Curry's impact on the men's side. The second she crosses midcourt, she's a threat. And when you combine that with her vision, her ability to sling cross-court dimes through traffic, you've got a once-in-a-generation talent. Even when you strip away the stats and just watch the game, Clark is playing at a different level. She's not just scoring, she's controlling tempo, manipulating defenses, and putting her entire team in a position to succeed. Meanwhile, JuJu plays a more traditional role. She's a high-volume scorer, but she doesn't bend the game in the same way.
A lot of them that can't drive and lay the ball up decently. But I'm saying there's players that can drive, get downhill, and lay the ball up efficiently, and shoot the three every now and then, because that's the type of player JuJu is. She gets downhill, she's going to lay that ball up, she's going to shoot around the perimeter, she's going to shoot the three. I can tell you one player that comes to mind right away that does that, Kelsey Plum. She does it. Kelsey Mitchell. She does it. Asia. She does it.
Let's be clear. JuJu Watkins is legit. She's got talent, she's exciting, and her ceiling is incredibly high. But trying to act like she's already on Caitlin Clark's level is just plain silly. These are two different tiers of players. JuJu is a star in the making. Caitlin Clark is a generational force rewriting how the game is played.
So why aren't we talking about JuJu like we talked about Caitlin? Well, because she's not Caitlin. She doesn't captivate the audience like Caitlin. She doesn't draw like Caitlin. She doesn't sell like Caitlin. She doesn't do anything like Caitlin. Nothing she does is on Caitlin's level, except scoring the basketball. And she's only on Caitlin's level because she needs to take 16, 18, 20 shots a game. She needs to be high usage, low efficiency to get the scoring numbers that she gets to.
And that's what makes Stephen A. Smith's comments so frustrating. This isn't just about one hot take. It's a broader issue with how media narratives get shaped. Analysts are so desperate to crown the next Caitlin Clark that they start reaching for comparisons that don't make sense. And in doing so, they actually do a disservice to both players. Clark has already redefined the game. She's the new measuring stick. And JuJu, as promising as she is, deserves to be appreciated for her journey, not forced into a narrative she hasn't earned yet. Let her grow. Let her develop. Don't rush to put her in a spotlight that doesn't reflect reality.
But when we get to saying that I think JuJu is better than Caitlin Clark, you gotta allow the Caitlin Clark fans to say what they want to say and defend. I see a lot of people get mad that the Caitlin fans are debunking the comparison, but then the JuJu fans are coming up and saying, hey, you shouldn't be comparing the two, just enjoy greatness. You don't have to compare everybody to Caitlin Clark, and the fact that everybody is comparing their favorite player to Caitlin Clark, that speaks volumes on Caitlin. That's like everybody comparing their career to Michael Jordan. She's the creme de la creme of college basketball, I'm guessing. That's why everybody is comparing her to, Caitlin Clark.
So next time you hear someone try to say JuJu is the new Caitlin Clark, hit pause. Look at the stats, watch the games. Look at the impact. The numbers don't lie, the footage doesn't lie. And the gap? It's bigger than Stephen A. Smith's ego on a Monday morning rant. Let's celebrate JuJu Watkins for who she is, a fantastic young player with a bright future. Not who Stephen A. and the media want her to be just to stir up clicks. Clark is setting records, JuJu's chasing them. And that's totally fine, but pretending they're equals right now? That's the kind of take that deserves its rightful roasting. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss out. Click the video on the screen, and we will see you in the next one.